Floods are catastrophic natural disasters that can completely alter a person's life. They are the #1 killer of humans among natural disasters. Floods occur when the amount of water in a river, lake, or stream increases at a rapid rate. Excess amounts of rainfall cause water to spill over to land, thus causing a flood. With the power to crush vehicles, move boulders, and force people out of the shelter of their homes, it is no wonder that floods are categorized as extremely dangerous.
Floods can be categorized into 4 types: flash floods, regular river floods, 100-year floods, and 500-year floods. When water in a river slowly spills over its banks to flood the surrounding area, it is called a regular river flood. These types of floods tend to easily be escapable and not as damaging. However, flash floods are just the opposite of a regular river flood. These types of floods occur rapidly and will quickly envelop an area. Flash floods are also the type that result in the most human casualties. When a flood has a chance of occurring only once every 100 or 500 years, they are aptly termed 100-year flood or 500-year flood. Recently, it has been noted that 100-year floods have been occurring more frequently.
There are numerous reasons floods occur. The most common cause of floods is high amounts of rainfall. Heavy rainfall is the consequence of the air and weather fronts rising, then cooling. The leftover water vapor then condenses into clouds, which will eventually release that condensation in the form of rain. Brief torrential rains are listed as the top reason for a flood's occurrence. A second cause of flooding is when large amounts of snow or ice melt all at once. A third cause of floods could be other natural disasters, such as hurricanes, tropical cyclones, and monsoonal rains. Ice jams, tidal surges, and avalanches are also causes of floods, but are less likely to happen.
Areas that are most prone to floods are broad flatlands that are situated near rivers or bodies of water. Floods can occur in areas that are downstream from dams as well. The Dartmouth Observatory has created a map presenting the areas around the world that are most prone to floods and how many floods have occurred within the past year.
Floods are disastrous and leave behind much destruction in their wake. Besides the obvious damage to buildings and people, floods also bring about disease. Since floods cause clean water to become contaminated, it becomes the perfect breeding ground for many diseases. In a recent flood that occurred along Mexico's Gulf Coast, officials warned their residents of waterborne diseases and emphasized the drinking of clean water. Floods also destroy crops, which could result in food shortages for the area. The tourism of the area also decreases, since no one wants to look around while submerged waist-high in dirty water. Displacement of families and businesses also occur as a result. On top of all these consequences, various psychological effects can also be seen as victims lose loved ones or their homes.
For those who live in areas with a high flood risk, it is important to minimize flood damage. One way to do this is by elevating a home's furnace, water heater, and electric panel in the hopes that the water will be unable to reach them. People should also consider installing check valves to prevent flood water from backing up into the drains of homes. If feasible, barriers could be constructed to prevent water from entering the building. Sealing the walls in the basement with waterproofing compounds has also proven to be effective. In case the need to evacuate arises, a kit of emergency supplies that includes clean water should be prepared. Familiarizing oneself with the vernacular of terms that are used to identify possible flood risks, such as the difference between a severe thunderstorm watch and a severe thunderstorm warning, could also be very useful. Preparing oneself with these tips can make all the difference when the flood hits.
In Al Gore's book, An Inconvenient Truth, he discusses the catastrophic events that will take place if people continue to abuse their environment the way they do now. If West Antarctica or Greenland melted, the sea levels around the world would rise 20 feet. This would cause massive flooding in Florida, San Francisco Bay, Manhattan, the Netherlands, Beijing and its surrounding area, Shanghai, Calcutta, and Bangladesh. If this were to happen, then many people would be displaced from their homes. For example, more than 20 million people would have to be evacuated if Beijing were to be flooded. 40 million people would have to be evacuated if Shanghai flooded, and 60 million people living in Calcutta and Bangladesh would have to be evacuated if the sea level worldwide rose to 20 feet.
The effects of human actions on the environment and global warming will be felt worldwide. People from every part of the world will be affected if society continues to treat the environment in the same manner as has been done. Cutting down emissions from harmful gases is a step forward for our society against flooding.